Intune.training, the Steve and Adam show. And Ben, hey Ben.
Hello. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic. I enjoyed our talk so much last time that I sort of forgot one of the main reasons that I wanted to talk to you. So, if it's okay, I'd sort of want to dig in a little more with PowerShell and Intune.
Well, it's really got my VM spun up from the last time we talked, and it's right where we left off. So I think this is going to be a great place for us to start.
That's fantastic. That's very professional of you. I appreciate the level of commitment you've got.
Well, I wanted to make sure we had continuity items and everything, so we are ready to go.
Excellent. Okay, so this is going to be a really quick one. Everyone remembers what we went through last time. So basically, we wrote a script that was intentionally going to fail. We created logs based on start transcript that gave out our diagnostic data that we could identify exactly why the script failed. But as I said in the last, if the script attempts and fails 3 times, it's never going to run again on that machine. That's a concern. If we want that to run again, we have 2 options. The first one is kind of what I showed in the last session, where we went into Intune, we deleted the script, and we redeployed it. That's essentially giving us a clean slate, and it's going to, again, try 3 times. We know that for whatever reason the script should have worked, but for whatever reason it failed, and we want to give it another push. There's a sneaky way that we can actually go into the back end and clean this up. So because we've got our start transcript run, and we go into our log file, which we've got here, and we see our host application string that it shows us exactly how that's run. We scroll all the way to the end and we have a look at the name of that file. What this is, for those that are paying attention, is 2 unique GUIDs. The first one that is split out between the underscore there is the unique GUID of the instance of Intune on this machine. Now, that'll, when we have a look at it in the registry. But the second string is the unique ID of the script that exists in Intune. So when last week, yesterday, whenever we filmed the last one, when I was saying that every single time you create a script or a script policy in Intune, it gives itself a unique ID or a unique name. That's what I was talking about. So this ID always relates back to the script in Intune, and if we were to go through and actually look at the script contents programmatically, that would be our key identifier to find the script in the back end of Intune. All right, so what we're going to do was we're going to force that. So here, what we're going to do is open up the registry through regedit.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. We're going to go into HK local machine. Never remember this. Software, Microsoft, Intune management extension, and then policies. All right, now yeah, there we go. So when I was saying it's the unique instance of Intune on this device, this is essentially the sidecar that is running these policies, and we can just confirm that all matches up. It's BE 52140, which is exactly what we're looking at. So this is always going to be the same on this machine. It will be different for every device, but just understand that that's the format that these policies are deployed down as. And finally, because we've only got one, we can confirm that matches up. But in a production environment where you've got multiple scripts, you're going to have dozens of these. So again, another transcript in your code is that you don't need to dig in and try and figure out what the ID of the script is. If we know what the application host string was, we can grab that and then we can dig in. So,
and before you go on to that, so I do notice that we don't have multiples here, and I would assume that's because we deleted the other scripts before we attempted to rerun the new ones?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Yeah. Okay, so what we can actually see in the result details is we've got the same information that was output. So this is kind of like a start transcript, but it kind of isn't as easy to. So that's why I still strongly recommend your own logging. But you can see here we actually get a little more information. We get the error output and things like that.
The stuff that won't show up in your transcript if you don't specifically output it.
Correct. Nice. Yeah. So this is raw output, whereas the transcript is somewhat edited and easier consuming.
Yeah. So this is the red bits that you would get in the console as you debugged it.
That's correct. We can also see how many times it was attempted. At this point in download count, I believe it is, we've got 1. So what that will do, again, it will increment up to 3, and then it will just never run again. So it's another good validation. You can verify how many times it's attempted, as well as all the other information that you can see here. So when it was last attempted, as well as the error code, so the exit code that bombed out. So what I'd like you to do now, if we go back to the program data folder, we'll just delete all the content.
But leave the train. Okay.
It doesn't matter. But yeah, let's just get rid of all of that. Continue. And then what we'll do is we'll go back to regedit, and I just want you to delete that entire folder.
So everything from here?
That's correct.
So essentially deleting the policy or the result of the policy?
Yeah, so what we're doing here, we're deleting any proof.
Really.
Yeah, so we're deleting proof that the script has ever run on the machine.
Okay.
So when we repoll, what's going to happen is your computer's going to go to Intune and say, hey, policies. Intune's going to come back and say, yeah, you do. Have you run this yet? And we've got no proof. So it's going to go, oh, okay, it's never run before, and it will kick that off again. You killed the service just then?
I did, yes.
Okay, great. So this shouldn't actually take too long.
Now, while we're waiting on that, real quick, so I've heard Sidecar mentioned several times. I mean, I kind of have an idea what it is, but I haven't been in Intune long enough to have had the history. I feel like it maybe was part of the lexicon early on, and then maybe isn't as much anymore. What is Sidecar? What is that referring to?
Okay, Steve's going to want to correct me a million times on this one, but so Sidecar was
he's never right. Come on, we know that.
Yeah, but he's never wrong either. That's the trick. So let me try and get my history correct. Correct me on Twitter. So Project Sidecar was a solution that was developed back in the Intune Classic days. Basically, allow us to deploy. I'm already getting head shakes. That's fantastic.
Nothing to do with Intune Classic.
That has nothing to do with Intune Classic, I'm being told.
We'll put Steven on the video now.
Yeah, put Steve on the video.
Look at that. Look. Oh, no.
Just dive in, dude. Let's see how blurry this gets.
Project Sidecar was designed. Hang on.
Let's go, Steve. So
Project Sidecar was designed after. Hang on.
This is what happened. I feel like this is one of the late night shows where they go behind the scenes and they get this. Right. Because who does that? Yeah.
Exactly.
So was added to allow the Win32 apps and PowerShell scripts and everything associated around that for the later builds of the current version of Intune. It's probably the easiest way to explain it. So it's go on top of what you get natively with the MDM component for Windows 10.
There you go. So it was a mechanism to essentially allow us to throw down files and trigger them, essentially. So it's the terminology Sidecar is really no longer used. I actually just did some training and they name dropped it a couple of times, but I don't think it's something that they're but suffice to say, pretty much everything that you see within this policies folder in the registry comes through in that world of sidecar.
So, and just to tie this back to the looking at this from a policies perspective, I really like knowing that this exists because, so from a config manager perspective, if you've ever looked, it comes down as a policy. And
Correct.
so applications have policies, and you've got all the configuration bits about it and all the things in WMI for all of the things that manage your client. And so this is the equivalent where you can come here and you can see all of the bits and pieces that come along with all the stuff. So I really like this.
Yeah, and I mean, have anything because this is a new machine. But the Win32 app settings, this is actually where you would see details on Intune Win or Win32 application deployments. You don't get as much information as I'd like, but this is also where you can, again, same PowerShell scripts, you can kill the entry here and force it to reinstall if it's being stuck for whatever reason and being stubborn. So this is just a really good way for the out there who are trying to really lick an issue that they just can't figure out. We can get in here and we can we've got a high level of control. But again, we can see that that's come back, which means the scripts run again, and we're back at square one. It's obviously still failed because the code was intentionally there, but the content's there, and that entry has reappeared. And again, that's going to give us another 3 attempts of running. So hopefully your code isn't designed to fail like this one. And I had the other day where a prereq for an application just failed to install because something else was running in the background. That was the only thing that failed. We deleted it to rerun, and it was happy days. So it's one of these scenarios where at least we know that the code is correct. We can force it to rerun, which is
so I'm looking at this saying, okay, so you could do it this way, or you could do what you did in the previous demo where you just delete the script and recreate it. And so, I mean, from a onesie twosie perspective, and like where you're trying to get it off the ground and get it tested and trying to do direct troubleshooting with 1 or 2 machines, this seems to be a great way to do that. If you're
I would correct you in this is the scenario where if it's worked for 100 machines, deleting the script and rerunning it would mean that script would rerun on all 100 machines. But if you know that the script should have worked and it's only failed on 1, going in the policy and forcing it to rerun is only going to make it run on 1 machine.
That's what I was trying to say. Yes, you said it much better. Yes. And so yeah, this is a one-off troubleshooting step, not a my script isn't working for the enterprise, let me go manually delete this off of 200 machines or 1,000 machines or whatever, because that's a bigger deal. You've got to write another script to delete the script, and that just doesn't make sense.
And that's one key thing to say about deleting the script policy from Intune and redeploying it, is that it is going to then reattempt to run on each machine. So hopefully your code can handle that. If it doesn't, you might be in a world of hurt. So you just need to be aware that the reason that it's been designed to once it was successful is because we don't just want code randomly running at all times on our production machines or on our client machines. It's a stopgap to save us from ourselves.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that design, if you remember our initial thinking around PowerShell scripts in our previous PowerShell scripts video, the first one that Steve and I did, we were hoping that we could have a remediation type script that would run all the, every time the machine logged in, and found out, well, you can't really do that. And so that's where, we've got to have a different solution for that type of thing. But for what it is, I mean, but I think understanding that if it's done, never runs again, and if it fails 3 times, it's done. I think that's going to save a lot of people from wondering why this is, I've got the script and it's supposed to run every time, and no, it doesn't. It's, it's a one-time kind of deal for you. So
yeah,
good to know.
Correct. Cool. Right. So look, I have I've written about this on my personal blog as powers-hell.com. Maybe one of the first things I wrote about. I actually created a nice little function that I haven't published publicly, It is on my GitHub, but I put it up in the repo, or the gallery rather. But basically, they marry up the script GUIDs or the IDs to the names, and you can actually go through and have a nice front end to force a reboot of these scripts as well. So for those who are scared to get into the registry, I do have it. So feel free to go on there and have a look at that.
Yep, and we'll include the link. Stephen was pointing at the bottom in the doobly-doo, as one of my favorite YouTube guys says. So this is this is the post that we want to get to, and so you can kind of see all the coolness here. So yeah, this is awesome. Well, thanks for stopping. And
you're welcome.
I'm back, but yeah, whatever. Thanks, Stephen. Stephen's gonna go jump on an airplane now and head back home. So we're just happy you're hanging out with us, and hope to do more of that. And so, yeah, thanks for sharing, man.
Thanks for having me again, guys.
And find us on social media at AdamGrossTX, and we'll include all the relevance below. Thank you. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.